Hello and welcome back to Gentle Growth with Ivy. And if this is your first podcast that you're listening to, welcome. I'm so glad you've chose me. So today we are going to be discussing why self-love matters, who should practice self-love. I'm going to give you 10 self-love affirmations that you can practice. We're also going to discuss building a positive self-image, practicing self-compassion, celebrating achievements, and setting boundaries and self-respect. So, this is going to be a longer podcast as we are going to dive into a lot. And if you follow my blog or if you are subscribed to my newsletter, you might hear a little bit of repeats because I'm going to use those to kind of help frame what I'm going to be speaking about. And I'm just going to look through it a little bit, but I'm going to add in a lot more than what you would read there. So if you follow my blog, you know that just about every read is about 2 minutes long, and a podcast is much longer than 2 minutes. So we're definitely going to get into a lot more than what those discuss. So let's get to it. So why does self-love matter? A lot of people think that it's selfish, time-consuming. It can be a hassle. I know whenever I first started learning about self-love, it was cheesy. I love myself. I'm perfect. I accept myself. And it's just meh. But it's more than that. It's not necessarily loving every single inch and detail of yourself, because I'm not sure if that's necessarily possible. You can learn to love yourself enough to accept those things, and upon acceptance, you could even learn that maybe you need to make some improvements. And where self-love comes into play is you're not hard on yourself about that. You accept that. You acknowledge that maybe there's an area for growth. Maybe you're just a little different. Self-love, to me, has required a lot more acceptance rather than falling in love. And it can come down to something kind of simple as body image. I'm a mother, so I've given birth. I breastfed for 2 years. I used to be well over 330 pounds, and I lost a bunch of weight. My body is something that I struggled hard to love. Really hard. And I worked hard to change it. I beat myself up. I had a lot of negative self-talk. I would be depressed. There was just so much negativity that came around with loving my body. And honestly, that was kind of one of the first starts of self-love, was accepting my body. Because even though, I love my body, it wakes me up, it gets me from point A to point B, it grew and nourished my child, I've had it for 27 plus years, and it hasn't failed me yet. This is a wonderful body. And whenever somebody wants to work towards loving their body, oftentimes they think, well, I need to lose weight. I need to get surgery. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need. And where some of those things might be true, you might need to lose weight because it's affecting your health. You might need to eat healthier because it's affecting your health. And, there might be things that you need to do. But self-love is important because whenever you do work on those things, you're going to be easier on yourself. Because beating yourself up, it might get you to the finish line, but is your smile going to be there just as big as if you loved yourself to the finish line? Self-love, it can go a long way. And I personally think that whenever it comes to personal development, trying to enhance yourself, enhance your life, and just be better overall, I honestly think that self-love is kind of the root to that. Because it is so much easier to accept the flaws around you whenever you accept the flaws that are you. We're all flawed individuals. We all have things that we need to work on. Absolutely no one on this earth is perfect. There might be these people that we see on social media. I can't say might. There are these people on social media that we see and they're perfect. Look at that perfect body. Look at the way she eats. Look at the way she goes into the gym an hour a day, even though she has 5 kids. Oh my goodness, I want that. I want to be her. And it's nice to have inspiration. But leave out the comparison. Because when you compare, you typically put yourself down. When you say, I don't look like that. I look like this. It's not self-love. It's not. It's being really hard on yourself. And so in order, I don't have the most perfect English. I'll tell you that right now. Every now and then you might get a little twang from me. So anyway, self-love is the root. It is the root. And I can talk about that forever. But I think I'm going to work on the next section of who should practice self-love. Honestly, everyone, regardless of where you are in your life journey, whether you're successful and you're wealthy, whether you're 100% healthy and absolutely thriving, you still need self-love. Because there are billionaires out there with perfect, in our mind, perfect bodies, perfect lives. Their money is just flowing in. They're getting to do whatever they want. But they're not happy. Why? Why do the people who have every single thing that they want, why are they not happy? It's because they lack self-love. You cannot be happy if you don't love yourself. You might feel moments of happiness. You might, especially when you're pouring into someone else and you're making somebody else happy. You can feel a moment of happiness. But if you don't love yourself, there's no way you are 100% happy in your life. And although 100% happiness isn't completely attainable, everybody, we're in a world filled with a lot of not so great things. We're going to have moments where things affect us. And that's where self-love comes into play, and you accept that. You accept that something happened, you got upset, you acknowledge your feelings. You love yourself through them, and you move on. Because self-love and acceptance really does go that far. And I'm not telling you to go out and hug yourself for 10 minutes, although that could be nice. And I'm not telling you to go and spend $500 on your hair because I love myself. I'm not telling you all that. I'm telling you to accept yourself. Because I'm sure a portion of my audience is going to be mothers, because that's where I resonate. That's where I was like, I gotta figure this out, because I can't pass this along to my child. I can't. I've had thoughts before, and not to be, on a super negative area, but I've had thoughts before that I don't want my child to have. Thoughts of not being worthy, thoughts of not being loved, thoughts of not being good enough to attain something, or thoughts of just never being able to do something meaningful in life because I lacked self-love. And so I'm here to teach it to myself, to my child, and to anybody who's willing to listen, because everybody needs self-love. But like I said, I'm sure a few of you, or several, or even most of you listening are mothers. If we as parents do not get our self-love under control, everything else is going to feel out of control, because when we have ourself in check, we're able to lead the way that we're supposed to lead. And so self-love is for everybody. It is for everybody. But when I became a mother, I realized I had to step up and I had to get it under control. I just had to. I didn't have an option. And I'm going to teach everybody else. So now I want to read you 10 self-love affirmations. I recommend that you write these down often. There's nothing wrong with writing these down 5 times, 10 times. The more you repeat these things, the more you are going to rewire your brain into believing them. And when you believe, you act. Because it's hard to act on something that you don't believe in. So write these down often, or whenever you're comfortable. Write them out on your phone in a little notes app. Write them with pen and paper. That's wonderful. Say them, repeat them multiple times. If I could challenge you to wake up in the morning, and as you're making your cup of coffee, maybe you could have a little, or next to your breakfast, whatever you do first thing in the morning, if you could have this written out on a piece of paper and have it somewhere near where you do your morning routine, and repeat them every single morning. And you can do the same at noon, around lunchtime. You can do the same at bedtime. The more you do it, the more you're going to rewire your brain. And the more you're going to believe it, the more you're going to become what you're saying. So, number 1, I am worthy of love and kindness. I'm going to repeat it again because I would like for you, if you can, I know some people listen to podcasts out in public, and I don't want you to do anything that's embarrassing to you, none of that. But if you can, repeat it again with me. I am worthy of love and kindness. All right, I'm sorry. I keep getting phone calls, but I'm feeling really inspired right now, and I really want to get this out while I can. So if you can notice little cuts in the audio, I apologize. Number 2, my imperfections make me wonderfully unique. My imperfections make me wonderfully unique. Number 3, I choose to release all self-doubt and embrace confidence. I choose to release all self-doubt and embrace confidence. Number 4, my journey is a testament to my strength and resilience. My journey is a testament to my strength and resilience. Number 5, I am deserving of all the good things life has to offer. I am deserving of all good things life has to offer. Number 6, every step I take is a step towards my best self. Every step I take is a step towards my best self. Number 7, my heart is a sanctuary of love, compassion, and understanding. My heart is a sanctuary of love, compassion, and understanding. Number 8, I am a work in progress, and that is perfectly okay. I am a work in progress, and that is perfectly okay. Number 9, my self-worth is not determined by others' opinions. My self-worth is not determined by others' opinions. And number 10, today I choose me, my well-being, my joy, and my peace. Today I choose me, my well-being, my joy, and my peace. So repeat those in the morning. First thing in the morning will be such a wonderful way to start your day. I promise it will make a big change. And if you can do it again in the afternoon or the nighttime, that's wonderful too. But I know taking on too much at once in the beginning is hard and discouraging, and it's like too much. And I don't want you to be pushed away from your self-love journey. I do not want that. So if you say even 5 of these every morning, or even 2, you could say one of them 10 times, one of them 5 times. Just add some self-love affirmations in your morning, and I really think you will notice a positive impact and a positive change in your days. It may take a little bit of time, because I know I'm stubborn, so I'm sure there's a few of you out there that's stubborn too. And I know I was stubborn at first, and it took me a while, and that's okay. That is okay. Something that I learned on my journey that I want everybody to embrace, because we're all going to have setbacks. You have to understand that you're going to have a setback. It will happen. But the most important part is when you have your setback, don't look at it as actually being set back. You're not going back. You're pausing, because you still have all that information that you've learned. You still have all the abilities that you're working on. It's all still there. You're just paused, because I know we have rough days, and pausing is important. It's part of rest. You can pause. Just don't stop. And don't look at it as a setback. You pick yourself right back up where you left off. If you have to take a little step back and relearn some things, that's okay too. Especially if you had a long pause, maybe a little necessary. But keep going. Do not stop. Stopping is not an option. We have to keep going. We don't really have that choice of stopping, because if we stop, we're going to get ran over. And if you're here, chances are you want to be here. You want to better yourself. There's no stopping. All right. It has been a split second for you guys, but it has been 2 days for me. I started the beginning of this recording on Monday, and now it's Wednesday. I definitely am realizing how much I practice what I preach and how much it helps me, and I hope that it helps you guys as well, because I had a trying couple of days, but these practices that I've put into place and that I'm teaching you guys to put into place made it so much easier to digest. So, now, I am going to go in on why your self-image matters, and I am going to give you 5 techniques to help foster your self-acceptance and self-love. Your self-image is the canvas on which the masterpiece of your life is painted. It shapes how you perceive yourself and in turn influences every aspect of your existence. Embracing a positive self-image is an essential act of self-love, a declaration that you are deserving of love and acceptance just as you are. And something that I have learned is that when your self-image is good, when you are accepting of yourself, and when you know your worth, you know that you are a valuable person and that you do have things to contribute, even if you are, quote unquote, just a stay-at-home mom. Because I know that's a part that I was hard on myself about, was being a stay-at-home mom. We're known for doing nothing all day, right? But if you are one, you understand that we do a whole lot more than nothing. But that's a whole nother topic of discussion. But your self-image, the way you see yourself, the way you talk to yourself, will influence the way that others see you and talk to you as well. Because people who don't have confidence, people who feel unworthy, that's displayed. A lot of people can see that. And unfortunately, it can make you a target to people that might have narcissistic traits. They see that. And they know you can be taken advantage of. So it is important, very important, that you get your self-image in check. You learn to truly love and accept yourself, because without that, it's going to be hard for other people to love and accept you. How can you possibly expect anybody else to treat you better than you treat yourself? You are setting the example. Lead it. Lead it, and lead it well. Because when you have good self-worth, you portray good self-worth. And when you have good self-worth, you don't allow the negativity from others. You don't allow them to impact you. You don't allow them to get to you and get under your skin. Do you struggle with that? Do people get under your skin? Does it seem like people around you can control you? You need to work on your self-worth. You gotta work on your self-image, and you have got to understand that you are a worthy and valuable person. You are. If you woke up today, you still have a mission in life. You do. And if you don't see it, you gotta find it. You have got to find it, and you have got to make you know just how great you truly are, and that you can accomplish things. I heard something today, and it was, problems are not problems. Problems are puzzles. And then I added to it myself, we build puzzles. And when you build the puzzle, when you solve the problem, you're building yourself up. Because how many times have you had situations in your life that were hard? And how many times did those hard situations teach you something really valuable and add some knowledge to your life and just change your mindset, change the way you see things? That's valuable. If you can learn something that can change your mindset in a positive way, that's life-changing right there. That's good stuff right there. So now I'm going to give you 5 awesome techniques for fostering self-acceptance and self-love. All 5 of these, I have applied myself, and I know for a fact that they work. I know they do. So apply even just one of these at a time, maybe take on one a day to try to focus on, and then eventually you'll notice that all 5 of these things just intertwine and integrate themselves into your life, and it just changes your mindset, changes your views, and you're on your way to a more positive and happy life. So my number 1 technique, well, not number 1. None of these are in order of like greatest to best. I just have a list 1 to 5. So the first one is affirmations of radiance. Start and end your day with affirmations that celebrate your unique qualities. You are so unique down to your very fingertips. And if you say that there's nothing unique about you, you can use your fingertips. But everybody has different ones, unless you are an identical twin that has never had a scar on your finger or anything like that. That at least is something unique, and that is different, and it's amazing. I know it's so little, but isn't it interesting that all the people in the world, and yet we all have unique, every single one of them is one of a kind fingerprints. Our fingertips are all different. And that's so small. Imagine all the big differences that we have. That's even greater. It's wonderful. So celebrate your unique qualities. Speak words of love and kindness to yourself, reinforcing the positive aspects of who you are. Use those affirmations that I gave you a few moments ago. Those are great. They are. I've used them myself. And practice these daily. Every morning, every night is ideal. That would be great. I really think it could change something in you. I do. Another thing is gratitude for your body. Focus on gratitude for your body's incredible abilities and the vessel that carries you through life. I mean, think about it. We are such powerful people, and our body holds us. And our body, it walks, and we can cook, and we can eat, and we digest that food, and we get energy, and we're able to just function. I mean, the way that our brain works, the way that everything works in alignment, the heart pumps blood, the lungs, do your oxygen breathing, and, your brain does if you've ever gotten into anatomy and physiology, I took a class on it. Wow. And you get one thing that's thrown out of whack, and it can affect your entire body, everything. And so the fact that we are able to wake up in the morning, our body is able to function. I mean, you got to give gratitude there, because there's a lot of people that don't even get to wake up. That's the worst. There's a lot of people who don't have eyesight, don't have hearing, can't move on their own, can't use the bathroom on their own, can't feed themselves. There's people whose bodies can't digest. There's people who their blood can't do what it needs to do to protect them from diseases and infections and viruses. And be grateful that you have a working body, you have a working brain, you have a working heart. And the fact that you're here, and you want to be better, that shows that you got a good brain. That's smart. But our body is absolutely amazing. And when we give gratitude to something like that, it's the small things in life. You gotta appreciate the simple and the small things. Otherwise, the big things aren't as big as they truly are. They're really not. Another one is surround yourself with positivity. Choose environments and people that uplift and inspire you. Surround yourself with positivity creates a nurturing space for self-love to flourish. And boy, oh boy, does the people you surround yourself with matter. It's insane. I mean, if you think about somebody who complains all the time, you can look this up. I don't have the exact words right here, but there's literally been studies done on people who complain all the time. It's almost an addiction. The way their brain reacts to their complaints, the way that your brain reacts to somebody else's complaint, it can alter your state of mind. I know it sounds almost silly and impossible, but they have literally done research. And when you repeatedly complain, it is literally like an addiction. It fires off something in your brain. This is not my special area. I know a little bit, but it fires off something in your brain. It produces a certain chemical in there, and it makes you want more and more and more. Complaining is addictive. And if you're listening to somebody else complain, it can almost do the same exact thing. I know you growing up, your parents would tell you, be careful who you hang out with. That's who you're going to become. And you're like, whatever, I'm my own person. I'm going to do what I want. No, it can really influence you. And then I'm not sure how people feel on vibrations and frequencies, but from what I've studied and read, that's real too. If these people are holding a low vibration, a low frequency in their body, and they are just low people, it transmutes out them, and it can affect the energy in your body as well. I know it can sound kind of silly. I sure did think it sounded silly at first, but the more you read it and the more you pay attention, the more you notice. If you are a happy, chipper, wonderful person and you walk into a room of people just sitting there and just hasty and mean and just, it affects you. And if it doesn't, then I want your secrets. I need to listen to your podcast. It's interesting, and just the places that you go, you want to feel happy. Don't go to a cemetery. It's sad when you read those tombstones, and just that can be a sad place. You want to be happy, go outside. That's positive. That's especially on a nice sunny day. That's a good one. And just the people, the places, the music you listen to. You want to feel happy, listen to happy music. Don't listen to the sad music that just talks about sad things or, just not things that are beneficial to your life. You don't want to listen to just kind of like pointless music. Now, it is nice. There is some music, that has a wonderful beat. And, if you're feeling down, you might want to get something to just kind of help you get through those feelings and stuff. But if you're trying to have a more positive outlook, listening to negative music is not going to help. It's definitely not. So another one is mindful self-care practices. Engage in self-care routines that honor your mind, body, and spirit, whether it's a soothing bath, a mindful walk, or a moment of quiet reflection. These practices reinforce your commitment to self-love. So when you specifically set aside something for yourself to do that is calming and that just makes you feel good and better, do it. It will really help your self-acceptance and your self-love. It And I know it's hard whenever you don't have time. Absolutely understand. I truly do. And so sometimes you can only get in 2 or 3 minutes of this. But those 2 or 3 minutes throughout the day, they can add up. And when you start setting aside 2 minutes one day, and you do that for 7 days, the week after that, it's a little easier to set aside 5 minutes. And you do that for a week, and then the week after that, you'll find that it's easier to set aside 10 minutes. And you don't have to do it every day. That would be great if you could. If you could have a nice little bath every night, a nice little mindful walk every morning, do your reflection midday or something, that would be wonderful. But I'm a realistic person. And I fully understand that every single day cannot be attainable for some people. If it is for you, oh my goodness, that is wonderful. Go you. I am so happy for you. But just know that I am very understanding, and I'm not saying you have to do this every single day for a good life. It's possible to achieve happiness without doing that every single day. And the 5th technique I'm going to give you is challenge your negative thoughts. Okay, this one is a big one. This might have to be one of my number ones for sure. When those negative thoughts arise, challenge them with love and understanding. Replace your self-criticism with self-compassion, recognizing that you are a work in progress, beautifully evolving with each moment. So you have a self-thought, I can't do this. Why can't you? Yes, you can. Surely you've probably done it before, or you've done something similar. You think, I go out and I'm worried that the people that see me are going to think bad things about me. They're not going to like my hair. They're not going to like my outfit. They're going to think my shoes look silly. Okay. So what? Are you ever going to see them again? Or what if they don't? What if there's a little girl wearing the same or similar hairstyle as you, and they see it and they go, wow, that's my new favorite hairstyle? What if somebody else sees your shoes and they go, oh, I seen those the other day. Oh, I should get some now. Something very valuable that I learned is that just because I think it, even if it's about myself, just because I think it does not mean it's true. It doesn't. Our thoughts are almost like a radio stations. You know how like the old radios, you used to have to like tune in. And so there's, all these radio stations out in the air right now. Right now, there's radio stations just everywhere. And if you get a little radio box, you can tune in. And so our brain tunes into these different frequencies of thought. And if you want to move through different frequencies, you have to tune your brain where you want it. You hear a thought you don't like, tune it. Change it. Set it to something you do like. And eventually you'll find a station that you want to stick to. Or you find a few stations and you add them to your little favorites list. Challenge those negative thoughts because they're not true. They're not. And you can change them. It's hard when you're not in control of your subconscious thoughts. Those first thoughts, the intrusive thoughts that just pop in there, they suck. And like I said, I'm not going to promise perfection. I still have negative and intrusive thoughts. I do. I truly do. But I reframe them. To this day, I still have anxiety on highways. I am a small town girl. I wouldn't even say small town. I am a country outskirts living girl. And when I get on highways, my intrusive thoughts start to take over sometimes. I get scared of the semis. I get scared of the people riding my bumper. If it's raining, oh my goodness, I am white knuckling that steering wheel. But if I focus on those thoughts, if I stay tuned into that frequency, that's scary. That causes panic, anxiety. It's not good. I don't want to be tuned into that station. So I change it. I'm driving right now. I listen to the music playing or the podcast that I'm listening to. I just change the channel on my brain. It can be hard, but with practice, it gets a lot easier. And it pays off. So I know I also wanted to discuss practicing self-compassion, celebrating achievements, boundaries, and self-respect as well in this podcast, but I think I've given you a lot of information and several techniques that you can practice, and I don't want to give you too much at once. So I'm going to end this here, and in the next podcast, we will discuss more. So stay tuned. Practice some of the things that you've heard today, and let me know how it goes. I absolutely love feedback. I really do. I want to know what's working, or if you have any tips you would like to share with other people. There's an area where you can even ask questions with your voice for me to input into my podcast. I think that's cool. I don't know how to do it because I've never had it, but I sure can learn. So thank you so much who have listened this long and who have tuned in. Like, my goodness, all the support I've received is amazing, and I appreciate every single one of you. I do plan on growing, and I appreciate everybody being here on this journey as I grow, as I learn, and as I become the life coach that I want to be, as I'm finding my true exact target and everything. I love having you guys along this journey with me. I love that you have me on the journey with you. And until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful day.